Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. For those of you looking looking for a secure way to securely hold your cryptocurrencies, there is an affiliate link to Ledger in the description below. I myself have been using Ledger for a very long time. I like Ledger. I like them as a company, and I do like their products a lot. While I do not work for Ledger, I am an affiliate. Thus, the affiliate link in the description below. Very big thank you to everyone who also leaves a comment on the videos. I'm going to give you the news as we have it, and we will see what comes of it. As of late, we have procured an enormously large amount of news revolving around the idea nearly specifically of where Bitcoin is going to go. The general consensus, if not the entirety of the consensus, understand that in previous bull runs, there was always a good 70-30. 70% would be, yeah, Bitcoin's going to do great. And then the 30%, if you weren't here years ago, thank your lucky stars, these people were exhausting. Some days, oh my gosh, some days Bitcoin would go up by 7%, and these people would write articles, well, that was it. Bull run's over. Bitcoin's falling back down to 2,000. And it was like, on what basis? Like, what are you talking? I mean, this was constant. There were always these people, and then they would feel somehow vindicated when like the bull run would end and start going, I told you it was going to, it was like, no, you told us 38 weeks ago that that was going to happen. So now the complete consensus revolves around that Bitcoin is doing something and is going to do something big in the very near future. We are nearing, in case you somehow missed it, we're nearing the point where we heard earlier this year from 47 analysts that by the time we get to November and December, do you remember? Bitcoin is, so they say, supposed to be anywhere between $250,000 per coin to $500,000 per coin. Apparently, according to recent analysis, it appears that, and we've heard this before, it's had many different names. Mega, Omega, what was the other one? Godzilla. Yeah, remember someone said like Godzilla candles. People are now talking about that we have entered into a super cycle ignition for Bitcoin. That Bitcoin during this scope of range of time is on its way to $360,000 per coin. The most interesting part being that that falls almost directly in the middle of 250 and $500,000 that we've also been hearing about. We were talking about this around June or July. I told you before, because everyone else said it, that September and October are supposed to be not only the time for all the potential approvals for the 380,000 ETFs that are all lined up, but also for the momentum for Bitcoin and Ethereum. The idea behind Ethereum revolves around all the banks building their stable coins on top of its blockchain. If Ethereum does well, if Ethereum goes to 8,000, if Ethereum goes to 15,000 US dollars per coin, as many analysts have suggested, this would, of course, create one of the craziest bull cycles and altcoin seasons that we have ever seen in the same exact breath. Do you remember? You must, because it's all that we've been hearing about. The last few weeks have been a little weird because multiple companies and institutions Everything has come out to announce in some form or fashion, it's the B word, that Bitcoin is becoming boring. The idea being is that according to them, we are probably not going to see any major, dramatic, quick, fast, awesome, insane movements for Bitcoin or the wider cryptocurrency market's price, but this will cause a slow movement upward over the course of the next few years, lending to this idea that Bitcoin's cycles are over. You've heard it before. Here it is again because it's everywhere in the news. The weirdest part that I find about this is that, once again, that 70-30 thing. But this time it seems like almost everyone is now on the same page regarding the future of Bitcoin. Everyone, for some, and I mean the majority of analysts and institutions have kind of all gotten on board with this idea of a boring Bitcoin or a long, drawn-out, extended cycle, which would basically flop us into the next cycle and nothing would really change except for like the movements upward in price as we see more companies accumulating crypto. This is an analytical company called Bernstein. Doesn't really matter. We've heard from them before, and their predictions about the I just smacked my hand onto the table, and about the cryptocurrency market and where things are going to go. As you might have imagined, the news that we've been getting quite recently previously, they're saying the exact same thing. Bernstein analysts say that they are expecting the current cryptocurrency bull market or crypto rally to extend for several more years. You heard that correctly. What would normally happen is, and I mean, once again, by the time we get to April, it'll be crystal clear what's happening, because normally by January is when we see like the drop off. If we're in April and prices are still up and we haven't experienced a 60% drop in prices, then every single one of these companies is then correct. They're expecting the crypto rally to extend for several more years, forecasting what they describe as a long crypto bull market continuing into 2027. So we find ourselves in a bit of a time warped pickle here, because earlier this year we heard an abundance of news about companies entering into the space. This then led to ideas of Bitcoin pumping rapidly. But as we've seen over this years, a lot of the accumulate, and I say slow with a small s, has been rather slow, the accumulation from these companies. Even when they announced that we've purchased 15,000 Bitcoin, it has been under the umbrella of over 2 weeks we made these purchases, and now we're telling the public because they didn't want to essentially rock the crypto boat. I will leave you with this. Every company's saying the exact same thing. To me, this all feels a bit weird because I'm used to our normal cycles. It's all that we've had before. As long as any of us have been in this market, even when you weren't in the market, you remember seeing the news. Oh, the market's going up and then it falls down. There's a lull period for 3 years of rich people buying up as much crypto as possible. And this is what I know we've become accustomed to. It's all that we've known. So it feels like we've entered a brand new something. And I say that because it's one thing for one company to say it. It's another for two to say, yeah, it looks like the cycles might be different. 16 companies, a bunch of banks, hedge funds, people who are looking at the market saying that something is definitely different. And it shifted since we got the Bitcoin ETFs last year. There is some kind of credibility to all of this then from these people saying it. I don't think they'd be saying it because they're like I like time going forward. Let's say 2027. It just wouldn't really. So yeah, I assume we are going to have, over the coming weeks, we're going to have a lot more news like this. If all these companies are saying the exact same thing, I assume other ones are maybe testing the waters, seeing where their charts are saying things are going, looking at the actual movements. We have, and correct me if I am wrong, I don't remember in the last 4 or 5 months, I can't remember any companies actively announcing like, okay, bull market's over in December. All right, bull market. We had a lot of energy around September and October regarding the ETFs and yada yada and the SEC's rule changes, and we had a lot of energy around summertime, July for the Clarity bill and the stablecoin bill, like that, la 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 la. But I don't remember in recent memory any of these analysts saying, okay, the charts look exactly the same. It looks like we're on the same path. It looks like the market's going to do A, B, C, and D. And by December 31st, kaplowy. We have only had extended, I mean, even from Novogratz, from Tom Lee, from Sabbatha? What's her name? Kathy Wood. Sabbatha's crazy. Now, you know, Bitcoin in 2028, multiple millions. We don't get there from a drop in price. It's kind of a slow movement upward. If you haven't seen Plan B's charts and his numbers, it also counts towards I think his numbers are $500,000 to $1 million Bitcoin in the next couple of years as well, like before the next halving. So something has shifted. We do not know what. We will all be here for the journey together, I assume. By next spring, this should be crystal clear. We've either completely gone parabolic in November, December, and then January, we fall back down. Or by March, we're all sitting here wondering why Bitcoin's still at 210,000 and we're kind of, you know, waiting to see what happens. But it does make sense. There are hundreds of companies, public companies, who have announced that they're buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Even the other like private companies behind the scenes, like no one knows how much they're buying. We also know that countries are actively buying. Don't forget that always. And the ETFs continue to accumulate more as well. So something's up. Yeah. Another company has anticipated, expected a very long. They said they foresee a long, exhausting bull run for crypto markets. I mean, I'm not disappointed by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, you know, we're not used to this. We usually have a good 4, 5, 6 months of like euphoria. We don't typically have like 2.5, 3 years of nonstop movement upward. So yeah, let's see if we actually have that $1 million Bitcoin by 2028. Weird time to be in the market, guys and gals. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video, everyone. I do hope that you've all been doing well. Hope you're remembering to take care of yourselves. Hope you're all remembering to do something nice for yourselves. Watch an old movie. Go get some ice cream. Go call a friend. Do something that you know, puts a smile on your face. There's a lot going on right now. You got to make sure to entertain yourself and be happy in some sort of way. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.